Okay, with that we'll start our road and bridge meeting. We'll do first here.
I guess we can start with the vacation. Yes, that's why the people are online here.
Okay, so. Notice. Yes. So the Board of Bonneville County Commissioners will hold a public hearing on November 13th at 10 a.m. via Zoom. Commissioners hearing room, Capitol. The purpose of vacating the portions of private road. It's a funny break. Easement platted in Williamson Acres subdivision recorded. Instrument 695,958. General location portions of 50-foot wide roadway easement platted with the Williamson Acres subdivision. This was published on October 25th, November 1st, November 8th, 2024. Present we have Mr. Christensen, Commissioner Reed, and Commissioner Walker. Road Bridge.
Yep, so this is the public hearing for the proposed abandonment and vacation of an easement road right away, known as Kellogg Lane, and it's platted with the Williamson Acres subdivision. Pursuant to Idaho Code 40-203, 50-1306A, and 50-1325. The petition was submitted by CW Palisades LLC, August 19th, 2024. Public hearing was scheduled for today, November 13th, 2024, 10 o'clock a.m. Bonneville County Commissioners hearing room. So pages 2 through 6 of your packet is their application. Page 2 is their application. Page 3 shows the parcel and the easement as it's currently platted. And if you notice at the northeast corner of that parcel, there was says an existing water building that encroaches into that right away. That's what they're trying to fix with this, and also to remove it to fit the existing roadway better. Page 4 was just the second sheet of signature sheets. Go on page 3. Pages 4, 5, and 6 are the boundary description of their proposed vacation. Page 7 is a copy of the original plat. The yellow highlighted area is the portion they're wanting to vacate. Page 8 is the notice of public hearing that was published 10/25, 24, 11/1, and 11/8, 2024. Page 9 shows facilities request that I did through Big Line to identify the utilities in the area. That came back with the Lower Valley Energy and Silver Star Communications. Both of those were sent a letter notifying them of this public hearing required by law. The second half of that sheet is the joiners and affected parcels map. Those 26 parcels there, but a lot of those are owned by the same person, so there were 12 adjoining or affected parcel owners that were notified by mail as required by law. Page 10 and 11 is the letter that was sent to utility owners and the adjoining and affected landowners. Along with that letter was 2 attachments, one of which was the original plat with the highlighted portion, and the second attachment was the aerial view of the same. And kind of letting them know that this was proposed for vacation. so that they can replat this to a slightly different location, fit the existing road. And do away with the encroachment that exists currently. Page 14 shows the existing and the proposed layout. The yellow line is what's there existing. You can see it goes right through the middle of that building. And the red line is where they're proposing to move it. Apparently that doesn't encroach onto that building anymore. And it fits the existing road a lot better. Pages 15 and 16 are the notice of public hearing. And I guess let's talk about timing a little bit with this. If you commissioners choose to vacate this, I wouldn't bring back the findings, facts, and conclusions of law until the plat. It's going to replat it in the new location. Is ready to record. That way we could do it simultaneously. The vacation could occur and then the recording plat right after it. That way we wouldn't be leaving anyone without legal access to their parcel where this road goes through to a few other parcels.
Where's the building you're talking about? Sorry.
Right up there in the northeast corner, kind of gray.
Isn't that against here on that end?
Yeah,
Almost looks like the new one encroaches on it as well, but I'm sure it doesn't.
yeah, the surveyor said it doesn't, so it's close, but
But can we pull up a county map of you or get a better look? Can we zoom in on it? I think
You probably could, yeah.
I'm just trying to picture the overall area out there.
it's, I don't know, maybe a mile and a half north of Indian Creek is where this is at.
So it's above the dam.
It's, yeah. Above the dam. Yeah, it's maybe 5 miles from the county state line.
It's a mile north of Indian Creek.
Yeah, roughly a mile.
When was this original road platted through there?
Oh, what is it? So I don't know if I can read that. It's like maybe 1984.
Building that shares a water building.
That's what they call it on their. I don't know if it's a well house for the Williamson Acres lots or if it's what that is. For sure, but
That's what I like.
they call it a water building on their mount.
Cheryl's shaking her head.
It's a garage that's been there since we purchased what is allocated as 23 at the end of the road.
Anyway, this is proposed to not encroach on that building anymore, so.
Okay.
Zoom, I've got it on the.
It's not as easy to use as his Apple.
Truth, the reason I didn't bring it is it's in my truck and I forgot to go grab it because I took it last night and then forgot to bring it in this morning when I came to work.
Touchpad or a Mac. An Apple, Boston.
This isn't an Apple.
No, yours.
Mine's an Apple, yeah.
Talk about that.
So you have to go around. These keys are really bad.
Maybe it'll come at a different time, but has there, if you're gonna open up the public, but have you received any negative
No.
comments about it or any
No.
concerns from
No.
people?
I have not, from
Okay.
the public or the utilities. So.
Okay,
Okay, well, Austin's looking for that. Do you have anything else related to this or?
I don't.
See if anybody has.
I don't. Do you have any questions for me on any of this?
Does it keep blacking it on me? Is it in there?
I'm just curious.
Not at all shocked. The lines don't all match up. Our place up there was on 3 properties.
Yeah, so
Look,
try and
straight through the living room.
Can you see where it is there now?
Yeah.
So where the tip of the mouse is, it comes all the way out to there. So that's the building right there.
And what's the black line on our?
Over here.
Yeah, the big black strip.
That's just a patch in the aerial imagery that they don't line up exactly.
And then the property east of this is Foresters.
no, it's
No,
Williamson
privately owned,
Acres
yeah.
subdivision.
So it does provide a.
Yeah, it provides access to other people beyond this.
Beyond,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
so this area up here.
Mhm. yeah, to the southeast, that red line there.
Okay, so it's, that's not Forest Service then.
No, it is not.
So let me make sure I understand what you said correctly. This won't be vacated until the new one is already in place and the deed will be accepted, so that there'll never be a break in.
Yeah, it'll be
In access.
simultaneous, so the
Okay.
vacation would happen and then the recording the plat right after it, dedicating the new right away.
Okay,
Okay, you probably take that down so we can see them.
Thanks, Austin. Anything else from you, Austin? Any comments or questions from the public? Public input here?
Yeah, Jeff Bullock. I've just got a question. So the Williamson Acres is my mother-in-law and father-in-law, and then we own the plot just, I don't know what direction that would be, south. I think just south of the Williamson Acres. So my question is, there's nothing, this is just moving of that road or the vacating the easement, shifting it over a little bit, but it won't change anything of the existing road that then goes through Williamson's and then carries through ours and then to Callahan, will it? It's just for this plot?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So where the yellow and the red lines match up, like that'll just continue on the existing road with no changes. Because that corner right there, there's a fence there's that detached garage. I just don't want to make sure it's not going to encroach further in where there's already an existing fence with a gate and stuff.
No, those points where it exits this property will not move. They
Okay,
will stay the same.
okay. And I just want to make sure I understand as well, a lot of legalese in here. They're shifting it to get it off of the building, but is it also so they can create a plot above the road in that top corner to then build on? Is that what you guys were discussing? Is like once the road is shifted down, there will then be a plot above the road. So that'll be, this plot itself will be subdivided into 2 individual lots.
My question was the big parcel, that doesn't even look like it's been platted, has it? And they can do that any way they want, as long as it hooks up to the road that's left there. But that'll come during the planning if they want to.
Because of the terrain on this particular piece of ground, really the only site that is feasibly buildable is this top little portion where the garage already is. So prior to this vacation, the applicant came and went through a variance with planning and zoning to be able to have a building lot on that top piece by the garage, which was approved. So, but that's only for one house up there.
That long.
It's just the little piece where the
Yeah.
shop is above the road.
Yeah, I
So
remember
yes,
that first one. So that's already been approved to be platted up there. And so this meeting, I guess, is simply to just shift the road or the easement on the road just a little bit down so it doesn't go through that building.
Correct, so it doesn't go through that building and to give them a little more of that flat area for their building site.
Okay, just shifted away from there a little bit. Okay, and it doesn't, I guess my concern is, what we're hoping doesn't happen is the land below that right now isn't really buildable. I mean, they could make it buildable, but what we don't want is that to turn into 5, individual plats that are then, you've got 5 mini cabins up there. I know that's our concern.
Yeah, and
In this little
that would have to
Airbnb.
go. That would have to go through a separate hearing process from this, and even with the road in the current location that it is, they could still come in and go through that process, so it doesn't really change anything relating to that.
Okay, but this is we're just talking road right now. We're not doing anything else with the plat.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
I have one. This is Karen Williamson. My mom and dad own Williamson Acres. Will we receive notification when construction work will start on that road? So we know if we're gonna have access or not to the property?
Changing. But this was just to bring it in, the
No.
easement in alignment. with
Yeah,
where the road
they're
actually
only
is.
changing the right of way of the road.
Oh, okay.
At this point, I don't think they're gonna be doing any construction. So,
Okay.
It's pretty common up there, I live up there, for where the roads were cut by a Caterpillar. Not to be actually in line with where the easement for the roads are. And this is just my understanding, getting the easement to where the road was actually put.
Where the existing road is.
Uh, In my neighborhood, they're not. Eventually they will be, so it's a work in progress. Any other questions? Okay, then we'll close for public input and let's stick with you, Dave.
that's all I had.
You'll come back to us with,
Yeah, I guess I can visit with you each individually and, as soon as the plat's ready to record. That's the way you shoot it.
yeah, I think that's a good way to do it. Okay,
Might be good to have that done before January 15th. Yeah,
Well, they haven't even submitted the plat yet, have they?
Mm-mm.
well, because I don't know if you'd have to redo it.
Yeah, that's gonna be the problem. Yeah. If you have a whole different board of commissioners, you're gonna have to basically redo this one.
see what you can,
Unless,
just get a fire built under them.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that.
unless they could review the record, then they'd have their input. So,
Well, I need to get submitted and get going on the plat.
You guys
Yeah, I thought
hear
they were
what
doing
was
that.
being said here, sometimes that doesn't pick up really well. The concern, Commissioner Christensen's concern was that this plat doesn't come forward until after the first of the year when the 2 new commissioners are seated. And then they would be finalizing a decision that was heard by commissioners that are no longer seated. And don't want that to be a complication, so that's what we were discussing.
I think, and this is just a general idea, I don't know if the board was thinking that they wanted to vacate this, I don't know why you couldn't write the findings.
make it
That
conditional.
it would be effective upon the recording of the new plat, and you could sign it earlier than the recording of the plat.
Seems like we've done that.
Good
That's a
idea.
good idea.
We've done that before in some of our zoning findings, and I think you'd be
There's-
okay to do that if that's the direction the board wants to go.
Well, now
So,
let's the new board look at it and say, okay, but there's been this change that wasn't accounted.
so
for
you
in
just,
here.
you could do
Okay.
it, but it just only takes place if the
Yeah.
new plat
Wouldn't
actually
record it
records.
until the,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
That
yeah,
sounds like
that's the
a
way
good
I
idea.
did 17th.
yeah.
Okay. You're welcome to drop off or hang around for the rest of our road and bridge stuff, whatever you would like. Thanks for participating.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
They built that inside of Allen Road,
Yeah, I did. I must have done
This
weekend.
far?
What type of us? Yeah, what type of us? An adjustment as you're not finishing it.
Well, I think probably we're gonna stick with the contract, talking to Lance about it. And just do the liquidated damages.
What liquidated damages are there gonna be though?
$1,000 a day, so
That'll.
somewhere in the neighborhood of 150,000, something like that.
Okay, cause you seemed unsure last time we talked to him.
Yeah, so, because that's what the contract says.
That was about a $2 million contract, so. Be a discount.
Yeah, $1,000 a day for, can't do this till spring.
Yeah, cause once they really started moving on it, they got it done that quick.
Yeah, they were just short-handed, they said.
Seems like just as easy to go. The width of the paver. As opposed to,
Yeah, I was gonna ask them, they were using a road widener to pave with. I don't know how that turned out for them, whether they ruined their road widener or whether it worked okay or.
Yeah, there's some areas there, they didn't add any pavement because it sloped off was because there was enough.
Yeah, there was enough
Yeah.
width in those areas, yeah.
Just make sure we shut it down at the same time as I am the road.
yeah,
And
and preferably, you know, like the
45th.
last week of school or the first, you know.
No, I'm just thinking
First week of school.
east of the school.
Yeah.
I've got a fancy apple. I can get my work done from home.
That's not even fair.
All right. Next thing I had was conditional acceptance for Freedom Acres Division 3, Phase 2. The improvements have been concluded there. This is just north of Beach's Corner.
People will be happy about that.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of permits sitting in the queue waiting
That
to
it's done.
be released, yeah,
And Webster will be really happy.
yeah.
Getting close, I guess. We talked to them last week. And they were hoping to get us something. Here it's in the next 2-3 weeks.
That we can send the.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a NOFO, notice of funding opportunity. That we were reading through. Apparently there's 408 million available. I think it's US wide, but we're gonna try and put in for that. Some of the projects that you can put in for were landslide type things. No idea if we'll get it, but we're gonna try, get Brad, and it's a grant.
So which landslide are you thinking
Yeah.
of using that? for?
Yeah,
Probably Bear Creek, it's the biggest one, I think.
I think that could merit some discussion because I think that one on Birch Creek is pretty important as well.
Yeah,
Did you ever,
well,
And is a real liability to the county.
did you ever talk to them about turning that to privately maintained? So that they can gravel it,
I haven't had any conversation with him.
because that's an option too. Is there, it'll say that liability, you have to pave that all the way through.
Yeah,
And I believe on this, you can submit for more than one project.
Okay,
so
yeah.
Maybe we'll
maybe
try
for both of
them.
them.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel, but I mean, that's Forest Service ground up there and it's very important to people, but
it
this
is,
is county
but that
ground that
road,
we are responsible for.
my last discussion with Lance after I went up and looked at it again and then talked to, spent a day out with geologists. The road needs to be completely redone. It's not just that section, because it's breaking off, there's nearly 2 miles of section that's breaking off, and that's just a precursor to major slips. And
I don't know, I just think that Birch Creek's gotta be first priority myself.
But I think there is a backup pathway.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd say try for both of them if there's not a limit.
yeah.
Yeah, well, in both of them, we have, well, I think we're close with Birch Creek on the plans to fix it.
Okay,
It said that they're maybe prioritized if you're, shovel ready,
Right.
get plans ready to go, so.
that's good.
yeah, and they do like that aspect, so.
Yeah, because the downside for the developer and fix that, he's still gotta pay the rest of the road.
Yeah.
Great expense, and so if we were given the option. Because they could get in there and probably stabilize that less expensively than the county could.
Yeah.
And long term, that would be a good thing for the county.
Yeah, it would.
So then you're not stuck maintaining it. It's still a summer only thing. Boy, it's hard to keep a road. Should close every year, on pavement, and then keep it up. Yeah, just winter, just summer use. It's
Do we have any
nice.
paved roads closed for winter? We haven't paved past where we closed the bone road. right?
Well, you've got going up into Blacktail, that's one of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes, that's
trails
true.
a little bit there, yeah.
For now,
Yeah. Hindsight. Might have been a different way to do that in the beginning. We ended up doing it.
how?
Make it private maintain.
In the Blacktail?
Oh, no.
Oh,
Birch
yeah.
Creek.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I think that's something Steve Sear pushed real hard for at the time, because he was trying to hold tight to those standards.
Speaking of those, you heard anything from Layton or Elk Ridge?
No,
Don't call that.
don't really expect to anytime soon.
It's on,
He'll ask till he has
Depends
to
on
ask.
how hard they push, yeah.
Yeah, he'll ask until he has to ask. Person that he's not gonna get the answer he wants from.
Right.
That's all I had, so.
thanks. Light day.
I don't have anything.
Do you expect that, public hearing to be very well attended?